Benny Bunny and the Carrot Thief. In a peaceful meadow surrounded by tall green trees lived a fluffy white bunny named Benny. Benny was small, soft, and cheerful, with long ears that bounced when he hopped and bright eyes that sparkled with curiosity. But what Benny loved more than anything in the world was carrots. Crunchy carrots. Juicy carrots. Sweet garden carrots. Orange, golden, perfect carrots. Benny had the biggest carrot patch in the whole meadow, and he took care of it every single day. He watered the soil, pulled the weeds, and checked every carrot as it grew. One day, Benny would sigh happily, "This will be the best carrot feast ever." But one morning, Benny hopped outside with his watering can and gasped. Half of his carrots were gone. Not bitten. Not nibbled. Not chewed. Gone. Vanished. Missing. Stolen. Benny's fur puffed up in surprise. A carrot thief. In my garden. Oh no, this means war. He dropped his watering can and stomped his little foot on the ground. "I will catch the carrot thief today," he declared. Nobody messes with Benny Bunny. The first clue Benny hopped around the garden, sniffing and searching for clues like a detective. At the edge of the patch, he spotted something strange, muddy footprints. Small footprints. Round ones. With tiny toes. "Aha!" Benny shouted. "The thief is small. Like a mouse." Bam! He grabbed his magnifying glass and hurried toward the mouse village. Mischief in Mouseville. Benny burst into the little mouse town shouting, "Stop right there. Where are my carrots?" 3 tiny mice dropped their cheese slices in shock. "See carrots," squeaked Milo, the smallest mouse. "We didn't take any carrot." Benny pointed dramatically. "I found footprints. Small ones. Mouse size." Milo puffed out his chest. "We have footprints too. Everyone has footprints." Another mouse nodded. "Besides, we're too busy eating cheese, not carrots." That was true. The mouse village did smell like cheese all the time. A grandma mouse stepped forward with a cane. "Young bunny, your thief is not here. But I did see someone running toward the river carrying something orange." Benny's ears stood straight up. "The river. Thank you, Grandma Mouse. I'll catch that carrot thief if it's the last thing I do." And he hopped away, leaving the mice shaking their heads. The great river chase. Benny arrived at the riverbank, panting. He looked around. No carrots. No thief. Then, splash. Water sprayed everywhere. A beaver popped out of the river with a mouth full of logs. Benny pointed at him. "Beaver Bruce, did you take my carrots?" Bruce dropped his logs. "Carrots? Why would I steal carrots? I'm building a dam. I don't have time for snacks." Benny muttered. "Let me check your pockets." "I don't even have pockets." Another splash sounded from behind them. "There!" Benny shouted. "Thief alert!" He hopped toward the splashing sound, tripped over a rock, and tumbled straight into the river. Splash! Water flew everywhere. Bruce sighed, picked Benny up by the ears, and placed him on the shore. "Thanks," Benny sputtered. "But the thief is still out there." Bruce shook his head. "Your thief isn't here." "But I did see bushy fur moving into the berry forest." Benny's heart pounded. Bushy fur? Only one animal in the meadow had bushy fur. "Oh no," Benny whispered. "Oh yes," he gasped. "Oh, this is bad," he cried. And he dashed toward the berry forest. The berry forest mystery. The berry forest smelled like sweet fruit and crunchy leaves. Benny hopped slowly, ears sharp, whiskers twitching. He whispered to himself, "Be brave, Benny. Be brave." Suddenly a bush rustled. "Show yourself, carrot thief." A squirrel popped out wearing a berry hat. "Hey Benny," the squirrel chirped. "Sasha squirrel." Benny shouted. "You have fur. Bushy fur. Suspiciously bushy fur." Sasha raised an eyebrow. And someone with bushy fur stole my carrot." Sasha gasped dramatically. She jumped onto a branch and yelled, "I am innocent. I repeat, innocent." Benny crossed his arms. "Then what are you hiding in that tree?" Sasha blinked. "My breakfast." Benny narrowed his eyes. "Show me." Sasha sighed and led him up the tree. At the top was a tiny basket filled with berries, nuts, and one very old carrot. Benny gasped. A carrot. Sasha held up her paws. Not yours. I found this one a month ago. I keep it for emergencies. Benny sniffed it. The carrot was wrinkled, squishy, and smelled like dust. Yeah, not mine. Sasha leaned close. But I did hear something last night, someone rustling in the bushes near your garden. Who? Who? Benny shouted. Sasha whispered, a big shape, sneaky, with long legs. Heading toward the hills. Benny's ears shot up like antennae. The hills. The fox lives near the hills. Sasha gulped. Be careful, Benny. But Benny didn't wait, he zoomed away in a cloud of dust. The foxies suspect the sun began to set as Benny reached the hills. The wind rustled through long grass. Benny swallowed nervously. He didn't want to meet Felix the fox. Felix was tricky. Felix was clever. Felix could steal anything he wanted. Benny hopped forward and shouted, Felix, come out. I know you stole my carrot. Silence. Benny gulped. Then, thump. Felix dropped from a branch right behind him. Looking for me, he purred. Benny squeaked and jumped 3 feet in the air. Felix. My carrots. Did you take them? Felix grinned slyly. Why would I steal carrots, Benny? I prefer bigger meals. Benny trembled. Felix yawned. But I did see someone running down the hill carrying a big carrot. Small fellow. Fast little legs. Small. Fast. Not bushy? Benny asked. Nope, Felix said. More like pointy ears. And a little stripy. Stripy. Benny shouted. That's a rabbit. Felix nodded. I think so. Benny gasped so loudly his ears almost fell off. A rabbit stole my carrots. A rabbit. One of my own kind. Felix shrugged. Maybe. Benny's face turned red. He knew exactly who it was. The real thief back in the meadow, in a tiny underground burrow, lived a naughty little bunny named Toto. Toto loved pranks. Toto loved mischief. Toto definitely loved carrots. And when Benny arrived, he found Toto leaning against a giant pile of stolen carrots, munching happily. Toto. Benny roared. Toto froze. Half a carrot fell out of his mouth. Oh, hey Benny, he said with a tiny guilty smile. Benny stomped in. You stole my carrot patch. Toto twitched his nose. Borrowed. Borrowed. I was going to return them. Benny pointed at the giant carrot tower. Return them? How? As carrot juice. Toto chuckled nervously. Benny puffed up. You will help me replant every carrot. You will help water them. And you will never steal from me again. Toto's ears drooped. Okay. I'm sorry, Benny. I just love your garden so much. Benny sighed. Then just ask next time. Toto gave a tiny smile. Deal. A new beginning the next day, Benny and Toto worked together in the carrot patch. They planted new seeds. They watered the soil. They fixed the fence. And Toto apologized so many times that Benny's ears got tired. Finally, Benny patted Toto's shoulder. You know, Benny said, carrots taste better when shared. Toto's eyes sparkled. Really? Really? Benny laughed. So that evening they sat on the hill, munching carrots together as the sun set over the meadow. And Benny learned something important. Sometimes a thief just needs a friend. Thanks for watching.